Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Industrial Faith. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Patch Day for Mordheim, City of the Damned. It is February 16th, 2016, and we have had patch 1.1.4.13 dropped on our goofy little heads. Let's go and take a look and see what we have, what has changed with our beloved game. Start at the top. We'll go new content. They've changed the library teleporters. They now have 2 exits. If one is blocked, you'll apparently automatically pop to the other one. No news what happens if 2 exits are blocked. I guess you just have to wait. More reserve slots. So the old reserve total was 6 extra reserve slots, and we now get that at level 5, which is fantastic. And we get 8 at rank 10, which is great. Now here is one of my favorites for the new patch. Failing a climb will now provide a buff called Known Path, increasing the chance of climbing this spot by 10%. If the character moves, the buff is removed. Now why is this my favorite? Well, because I had a Skaven henchman fail 8 72% chance climb attempts in a row. 8. Ridiculous. So now hopefully this means I will only have to suffer with 6. This will, however, make it more difficult for me in my informal quest to actually kill a character by failing climb checks. So I'm going to have to try harder, obviously. Poison Wind Globadier gets some nice combat skills, which they didn't have before, which is great. They get Warp, Poison, Numbing, Poison, Poison Expert, and Swarm. And you would think Poison Expert would be one of their things normally, but I guess not. Smugglers also get some new skills: Tactician, Sniper, Shot, Combat Expertise, and Flawless Positioning, which will make them a better shot and a better melee character, which is great. They've added subtitles to the introduction video because I guess instead of a, I don't know, way to skip that. Well, I mean, there's a skip at the enter, but I'm going to see if there's a check mark somewhere that just lets me skip it normally. But, you know, regardless. Now you can have subtitles, which is good, I guess. They added a virtual keyboard in big picture mode. Awesome, I think. Implemented a new shop refresh cycle to prevent the list of items from lagging. I don't know what problem this was fixing. I have never seen the issue, but that's great. So here is a big one. Random number generator. We made some small tweaks to the algorithm in hopes it'll yield better results. I cannot possibly be the only one who thinks this is awesome. Here's the thing, though. As the way I look at it and the way I've noticed is the random number generator previous to this seemed to punish the player. The AI had no issues making its 80% to hit rolls. It had no issue making its 20% dodge and its 15% parries, and even higher, it had no issues. The player, on the other hand, had every player who's had a high-level character with a high weapon skill has seen the 4 95% to hit chance misses in a row. Everybody's seen it. Everybody's thrown their hands up in the air and just basically said, I got to go out into the living room and take some deep breaths because, frankly, this is bull hockey. And it was. It was something was very wrong with the random number generator. And for anyone who wants to argue possibility versus probability, you always go with the probability, not the possibility. So hopefully they said it's a small tweak. Hopefully it is a small tweak, and that it's they didn't swing the pendulum too far. So basically what I'm hoping is that the player now gets essentially the same amount of hits and misses and parries and dodges that the AI seem to get. Now, Mordheim's a very hard game. It's a very unforgiving game, which is fine, but I felt the random number generator was just a little bit too punishing, especially in the early game. Now, in the late game, you can kind of suck it up. You can. There's various ways with all the warbands to go ahead and deal with the huge streakiness that often led to characters being taken out of action unnecessarily, critted, missing various rolls, etc. And it's easier to recover from that when you have characters with 300 hit points. But at the beginning of the game, it was really brutal because at the beginning of the game, you would a missed hit And never mind, it wasn't one missed hit; it would be 3 or 4 missed hits. You would have. I've had situations where I've had 4 henchmen sitting on another henchman enemy, and everybody's missing, but the enemy henchman is constantly hitting their to hit rolls. And so at the beginning, it made it very frustrating, made it very difficult, and I even feel it probably pushed some people away from the game. Maybe not. We'll see. But it looks like those early warband fights are going to be a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more enjoyable. So we'll see. As long as I didn't swing it the other way, so now it's like, you look at the guy and you hit him. Nobody wants that. We just all want our fair shake. Mutations for the Chaos Warband are now gained at rank 1, 4, and 7. That's great. Stun effects now properly remove all stances. Okay, I don't know who is dodging a stun effect, but okay, that's great. There are skill changes, riposte. I'm sure that's a French word, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it incorrectly. 2 parry attempts, white powder trap, usable once a turn, weird stone lure, once a turn, liquid courage, 2 turn duration, and there are some more weird stone pickup skills for, it looks like, for chaos, that now have 2 turns instead of 1 turn, which is pretty good because that means they're usable now. Because if you pick up some weird stone, you typically didn't move around that turn. Next time your turn rolled around, the buff went away. So you get an additional turn of using a buff, which is great. And repentance. Now, corrections. They fixed loading issues with some of the save games created while in a mission. That's good. Fixed the hideout tutorial, which we're losing focus sometimes. This is news to me. I didn't know the game had tutorials. I'm going to have to go look for those. I just jumped in and basically went, oh, the floors are made of lava, the water's deep, and there's sharks. Good lord. Fixed an issue where a warrior put out of action by a trap would spawn 2 loot bags instead of 1. I've never seen that because my smuggler's traps have never knocked anyone out of action yet. So I'm still learning the smuggler. Fixed collision issues with multiple buildings. An issue with chest would open when a trap was placed close to them. Oh, that's interesting. An issue freezing the game when a warrior is placing a trap after opening a chest. An issue where projectiles were not visible and the warrior is performing a throw action. Okay. An issue with the Skaven throwing animation. All right. Extended some sequences to avoid the AI from skipping its attack animations. Again, I haven't seen that. Fixed multiple localization issues in different languages. Not bad. So this all looks pretty good. It looks like they're going to make the Poison Wind Globadier and the Smuggler stronger. I already feel the Poison Wind Globadier is plenty strong. It looks like they're fleshing them out a little more, which will give them some more options between going the melee Poison Wind Globadier and the ranged and the support. It's sort of the same way with the Smuggler. The Poison Wind Globadier is a fantastic unit. Fantastic. I mean, he's great. It gives chaos and Skaven a little bit of healing ability, a little bit of it gives a Skaven a lot more oomph in large-scale scrums, and you've seen it where everybody just comes pouring out of buildings and everybody's fighting. Poison Wind Globadier is also fantastic for PvP. Not that I've played PvP, but just theory crafting and knowing how players react when they're actually fighting a live person as opposed to an AI. The Poison Wind Globadier, with their ability to basically create area denial zones, people avoid those like the plague, especially in the beginning, again, when 10 to 15 points of damage is actually a fairly decent amount. Again, late game, not so bad. But again, late game, it provides, it's just extra DPS late game. I think they really shine early game, early campaign, I should say. And then they're just really decent and add more oomph late game. Smuggler, I'm not thrilled with. They're basically just kind of a ranged unit that Sisters of Battle can get. The Reichlanders really don't have a need for her. I mean, she's just a neat hero for them. It's a Youngblood that comes with a free rifle, basically, is what it is. So, I don't know. I would like to have seen the Smuggler be a little more fleshed out, have some passives that helped post-game or something, because they're a Smuggler, but whatever. But it does look like what they've done is made the Smuggler a bit more Again, more fleshed out. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. It looks like that's all the patch notes. It appeared to be a pretty big patch, but well, a meg. It's not that big a patch, really. Sorry, I'm an old school gamer, so a game that was like a meg was huge. But thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the dirty, dark, dangerous streets of Mordheim. Have a good night, and bye bye.